The waiter. In this lesson, we're going to be taking a look at one of the most well-known positions in the service industry, the waiter. Now, even though we all know what a waiter is, it is absolutely critical to understand not only what a waiter is, but what their role is when it comes to their interaction with the bar. Lastly, we'll also take a look at a few things that we as a bartender can do to help a waiter offer excellent service to our guests. Firstly, what is a waiter? A waiter is a man or woman who works in either a restaurant or bar and serves the guests. The type of tasks that a waiter carries out includes preparing the tables before service, taking food and drinks orders from guests, serving guests the food and drinks, and maintaining cleanliness around a restaurant or bar by removing dirty plates, glasses, and any rubbish which may be around. One of the main features of being a waiter is that they are required to interact with guests, because they do most of their work front of house, serving guests. This includes things like making both food and drink recommendations to guests. Now let's look at a waiter's role in a bar. The main thing the waiter does when it comes to a bar and a bartender is to communicate the guests' orders to the bartender so that they are able to go about preparing the drinks. Then, once the drinks have been prepared, the waiter is then required to collect the drinks and take them back through to the guests. It is incredibly important at this point to mention the importance of communication between the waiter and the bartender. When a waiter brings an order to a bartender, the bartender must always repeat the order back to the waiter to make 100% sure that the order is correct. This is because an incredibly busy waiter may be dealing with lots of things at the same time and make a mistake when they hand the order over. By repeating the order to the waiter, it will allow the waiter to listen, realize they have made a mistake, and then either correct their mistake or go and retake the order to be sure they know what the guest wants. In the same way, when the waiter comes to pick up the finished drinks from the bartender needs to let the waiter know what each drink is so that the waiter can double-check that the correct drinks were prepared. Now let's talk about front of house and back of house. You may be asking yourselves how waiters fit in with either a front of house or back of house bar, and that is a very good question. Let's take a look at front of house bar first. What do you think a waiter needs to do when the style of bar is one where guests sit at the bar? This was a trick question, because a waiter has absolutely nothing to do with these guests who are enjoying their drinks at the bar. It is not necessary for a waiter to sit at the bar with the guest, ask them what they want, and then tell the bartender who is standing there the whole time. Well done if you were correct. Alternatively, there may be instances where guests are seated at a table in a restaurant, and there is a front of house bar where all the drinks are prepared. If this is the case, it will be the waiter's responsibility to take the guests' drinks orders to the bartender, who can then go about preparing the order. When it comes to a back of house bar, waiters are absolutely vital. Take a few moments to write down why waiters are so important for a back of house bar. Now let's see if your answer was correct. The reason why waiters are so important for a back of house bar is because without waiters, no orders will arrive and no drinks will ever get taken out. The bartender will be all alone, stuck back of house, with nothing to do and no guests to please. Finally, let's take a look at a few ways that a bartender can help waiters. Bartenders can help by doing the following. They can explain what the different ingredients in the drinks are. This way, the waiter will be able to tell the guests what is in the drink should they ask. They can explain how they prepared the drink if it needed to be prepared. This will allow the waiter to impress the guests with their knowledge should the guests have any questions. They can describe the flavors in the drink. By doing this, the waiter will be able to present the drink to the guests by including the flavors. Lastly, always inform the waiters what is no longer available in your bar because stock has run out. This way, the waiter can then inform the guests what is available and unavailable before they make their choices. Well done on finishing this lesson on the waiter. You now have a great understanding of one of your most important teammates who will be involved with you while you work at your bar.